Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maddie and this is Lavon, and basically I'm going to be telling you guys about my labour and delivery. So basically on the 7th of May, I had a midwife appointment and they told me they were going to induce me on the 9th of May. So the 9th of May comes up and I was about to get induced, but they checked my cervix and I ended up being 3 centimeters dilated. So they told me they were just going to break my waters. But I was so scared to feel the pain or anything. So I ended up getting the epidural, and with the epidural it takes an hour to kick in, so actually work. So 2 hours after I got the epidural, they break my waters. A few hours later they checked me again and I ended up being 6 centimeters dilated. And then a few hours after that I ended up being 10 centimeters. So the whole round I was roughly in labour for 19 hours. But I didn't feel a thing because I had the epidural, and yeah, so when I was 10 centimeters dilated they felt something wasn't right. So they got it, it's rectangle and it's got a little sharp pointy thing at the end and tells you what's wrong with your baby and stuff. So they put it up there, did that, checked his bloods and his oxygen, and he had low oxygen and low blood sugars. So I had to go for a C-section, and it was all doctors coming and they're pushing the bed into the theatre room. It's called theatre, which is where they do the cesareans and surgeries and stuff. And anyways, I'm in theatre and they get ice, this bag of ice, and they put it on my body to see if I can feel it. I couldn't feel it, I could only feel it on my right side. And then they were like, okay, can you feel this? So they got scissors and stabbed my stomach, and then can you feel that? And I was like, yes. And they're like, okay, we need to give you an emergency cesarean because this baby needs to come out now, because he was in so much distress. So I ended up having to get an emergency cesarean, and Josh couldn't be in the room because if you get knocked out, your partner's not allowed in the room because it's they have to have so many doctors coming in, just so much help. So Josh had to leave the room, and then they put a mask over my face and I'm to the doctors, I can't breathe. And then they're like, yeah, it's okay, you'll wake up and you won't feel anything. So I knocked up. Okay, so I'm going to insert a photo of my cesarean scar, so if you do not want to see this, please skip through as well. I was knocked out and then I wake up and I didn't see Josh or Lavon in the room, and I was like, what? Where are they, And then Lavon was in intensive care, the NICU, and then Josh was with him, and there were 2 doctors next to me, and I was like, I need to see them, I need to see both of them. And then the baby needs to stay in there, and I was like, okay. And then I need to see my partner, I need to see Josh. So they're looking around the hospital trying to find Josh. They couldn't find him. And then 10 minutes after they found him, so Josh came in and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, I feel so weird, I feel like I'm not awake, I feel like I'm sleeping right now. And then he's like, no, you're awake. And then I was asking doctors, I was asking Josh if I was awake, because I literally felt like I was sleeping. And anyways, then I wasn't able to see Lavon for 4 hours. So after 4 hours I was finally able to go see him, and I was hooked on oxygen, and so was he. He had antibiotics in him, and he also had oxygen and tubes running through his mouth and stuff. I'll insert a photo so you guys can see. But I don't remember seeing him either. It's weird, I literally was I had the epidural, I had the gases, and I had so much drugs in me that I didn't remember anything. I don't remember seeing him for the first time, which is so sad because I wish I could have remembered that special moment. But yeah, and then after spending 10 minutes with him, I went up to the maternity ward, and he wasn't able to go up there because he had to stay in the NICU for a few days. but I wanted to breastfeed. I didn't want to bottle like formula feed. So what they did was they got a syringe to put on my nipple and then like force out a milk to go into the syringe to feed it to him like that. And so we did that for like 2-3 days, and then Lavon was finally able to come in the room with me, which was so good. And yeah, so then I could finally breastfeed him properly. And then a few days after that, I started shaking and having a panic attack. And then the hospital was like, something's not right. So I had to get a CAT scan and an x-ray. And the CAT scan came up saying I had blood clots, which is like your blood all clogs up and it's not streaming through your body. And yeah, so I ended up having blood clots and had to go in for another surgery. And the way they do that is they have to reopen where the cesarean was, and then they have to like put tubes through it. I'll insert a photo as well, so if you don't want to see that, please skip through. And then after the blood clots, I had them in for about 4 days. Had them in for about 3 or 4 days, and then they finally took those out. But I was awake. I meant to say I was awake when they took the tubes out, not the blood clots, because by then I had no more blood clots. They took the blood clots out, so like I got the gas in my mouth, and then they pulled the blood clots out while I was awake, but I did not feel a thing. And then after the blood clots, I had to recover for another few days. And then after the blood clots were all done, like I was recovered, it was the day that we were leaving. And the midwives took Lavon to go get an x-ray, and Josh and I had no idea why. But apparently when Lavon was born, he had a hole in his liver, which we had no idea about, that he had a hole. So we were like really worried, and we're like, why did no one tell us? But thankfully the hole like closed up, so there's no more hole there, so he's fine, he's healthy. But when we were leaving the hospital, Lavon lost 15% of his birth weight, and they're only supposed to lose 10% or under, and he lost 15%. And the hospital said as long as you pump and you're breastfeeding like constantly, so I had to breastfeed every 4 hours, then he should get his birth weight back. So yeah, thanks for watching my video. He is now 2 months old, and yeah, so stay tuned for more videos. Bye!